I thought you were gonna put that into the real one. This is an arc analysis.
This is an arc analysis.
This is
Arc analysis. We did pretty good then. Maybe that's the one I'll save.
You're never gonna save it.
No.
I don't know why you lie to them. Don't lie to them. They've been with us long enough to know, like, nope. It's so easy for them to just copy and paste one intro, but no, that's not what we do.
So you know how we were doing the pew, pew, pew at the beginning? That reminded me of like I saw this video of like a young Beyonce talking about how she can't cook. She was apparently like, she's like, I was cooking one time and I threw I can't remember, some frozen stuff into the pan and started going, and then somebody took an edit and it's just her going over and over again.
The internet took it and ran with it.
It was adorable, but it reminded them.
She could be cooking soon on this country album.
Yeah,
but that's a different show. Jonas and Coke and Dang do country.
You're gonna start us down a rabbit hole right now. I almost started going off about it, like just like and then
it sounds good.
I'm gonna go on a tangent. I don't mind it. Yeah, I like to look for her. I think it's cool that she's experimenting. That's dope.
I don't even know if it's experimenting. It's in her bones.
No, I meant Renaissance Part 1 was like electronic music, like dance music, and then
I have still yet to hear that entire album.
I liked it.
I'm 3 albums behind. Everything I've heard all the releases, and I was like, and then girls singing it.
That's half the album then.
Yeah, girls singing it as they walk down the street and dressed up in their tinfoil and platinum. But I've yet to sit down and take it. Listen, I'm so far behind. I'm missing Grammy winners, rap albums that I should have been taking.
I think you meant behind just with her discography. I was like, yeah, I never really was a huge fan until
music in general, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's.
Well, she's the queen. Here we are on Coke and Dank's Beyonce Queen Bee podcast. Talking about. I mean, if you guys were listening to, we didn't record it, but if you were listening to the conversation before we push record, it was a deep dive of like, hey man, remember when music was good this year? We just started doing research.
I feel like if we had more time and somehow got paid for not working, we'd have like 4 different podcasts, like one like this, and then another one about music, and then
you keep putting the horse in front of the cart. We have to put the cart in front of the horse. If you want to get paid, we have to just start talking about all the stuff we're clearly interested in and clearly have opinions on. And I think even if you disagreed with us, you'd still enjoy to hear our takes on it. But that's us. You're just saying we got to do work if you really want to get paid for it. So do you want to get paid for it?
Absolutely.
So you can find us on our Patreon at Coke and Dang Get Paid. Arc analyzing. We're still, and then we have plans. Track for track still up there. We did drop the one Rihanna album, so we
did last year. That was a year ago, dude.
We were supposed to do one for this Super Bowl, but we all got duped by Usher and dropped the panties. Oh my God.
Arc analysis number 74. If you die in the woods, does anybody care? Published by Mullet Turtle Comics, 2015. Written and drawn by Steve Steiner. I did some digging on this because I couldn't find the publisher for it. It is an indie comic. Steve, that's his label. He made it entirely just to. I'm sorry.
Did it all himself?
Yeah, just like how Eastman and Waltz did the Mirage comics to publish Turtles. This is the same sort of thing, except he wasn't pretending to be one. He's just like Mullet Turtle Comics. Like the tagline is like Mullet Turtle Comics. It's humorous comics that have nothing to do about mullets or turtles, but it's from the mind of Steve Steiner.
Yes, because I love the logo. It's a tiny turtle with a mullet.
With a mullet, which is amazing. It is what you get because you kind of got to do something if you want to put a comic out there, right? So,
and I will give it this: it has its charm. Like you can tell this is somebody's singular vision, and you didn't pass it to somebody else to like fill in the blanks. Like he knew what he wanted to do. And for all intents and purposes, he did it. So, like, I enjoyed that about it.
It's to the point. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Like you said, it's focused. It only has 3 characters.
Yep.
Well, 3.5, but
4.
Yeah, fair enough. 4. It was in a world where this is 2015 too. This is almost 10 years old. This comic, but I was gonna say in a world where a lot of comics like do a lot of exposition and a lot of talking Alan Moore.
Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame edition.
I think we just keep taking shots at him for no
Listen,
reason.
we put him in our Hall of Fame, so he's in the rafters. But then you can still point at the rafters and be like, "Yo, that jersey, bro."
I don't know. You got to be in the mood to talk about his comics.
And
Them
we've
and
been
all
talking
the
about
subject matter.
the number 2 Hall of Famer. So get ready that we're going to do an amazing coverage of that writer / artist potentially, and then shit on them for the rest of the episodes that we do, because that's what we do.
I think it's valuable because when we do the Hall of Fame thing, we read everything that they've written. So it's like we are now, whether we like it or not, professionals on Alan Moore's comic books because we've read all of them.
I like that you consider us professionals because we read all the stuff that he wrote.
All of them. Yeah, that's it. We're professionals.
We've done
Do you know
nothing
everything
other
about
than
him? Ask us. He's a magician. Yes, correct. I know.
We did
We've done
watch
nothing. We've never met him.
those
We
crazy.
don't
We did
read
watch
any biographies. Just his work.
We did watch the crazy documentary where he did
Didn't
look
watch
like
the
a
what?
wizard. The crazy documentary where he did look like a wizard and hates
Yeah, he
everything.
does look like a wizard.
He's so like a hermit. Like he'd be an amazing wizard hermit that you'd have to like discover in the cave years from now. But
I think he's hilarious. But anyways,
I think
we're talking about Steve Steiner. And if you die in the woods, okay. So a couple of rangers are deep in the woods. And they keep finding dead bodies, but they don't. Yes, park rangers. Sorry, that's right. But they don't want to tell the local police about it since they'd shut the woods down and they'd be out of jobs. The older ranger, once upon a time, saw a killer beaver who knocked a tree down on his cousin, and he vowed revenge. That's all you need to know. Is that there's these park rangers who don't want to tell anybody that they've been hiding bodies for years, which I think.
Oh my gosh, those pages where they discover that they've been throwing it in the lake and like they have to tie things.
So that killed me. Yeah,
that was good. There's some funny revelation. Really good, and this is a funny comic. Like they're not playing it for the seriousness of it. My takeaway is I enjoyed it, and again, the art styling is something that you do see on Adult Swim. Actually, not even. This is a definitely Saturday morning cartoon type of feel. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of disjointed and fun and kind of exaggerated. They look original to the style of Steiner, and no one could replicate it. But even more so, I love that he layers his cartoony characters with very I want to say cinematic, because I really enjoy the backdrops and the backgrounds and the trees and the forest, and like when it's snowing, it's got a good kind of contrast of take the forest seriously, but you can't take the character seriously, and that plays completely into how the comic book reads.
Yeah, I agree. I had a lot of my first note about this: dark humor drawn cute.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you get here.
Way to succinctly say what it took me 4 pages of exposition to say. So, I appreciate that.
I want to cut you off, and you were doing so well. But yes, it's exactly what it is. You're right. The animation is captivating. It's funny because it's like I'm reading this, and it's like, oh, it's all one shot. It's like 4 chapters and an epilogue.
Right.
I'm like, I wonder how long it's going to take me. To like 10 minutes, not even like. It's very, very quick. It's funny. The jokes don't linger, which I appreciate. I hate when a joke overstays its welcome. I hate when a book overstays its welcome. This does neither of those things.
There's a lot of slapstick.
Yes,
like the dude that they're supposed to be helping out turns like violent on one of the rangers, and like they end up like beating up each other. And I found that hilarious. Yeah. My one I don't know how, but I wish you could, was if you could have found a way to withhold that a beaver's doing this until like the third or fourth issue, because the reveal of like when they actually get to like the beaver's lair, amazingly drawn, and kind of how he viewed how this beaver was living his life. But that reveal of like having that little glowing bastard in the background, I was like, oh, I didn't want to know they were looking for a beaver. I wanted them to kind of be confused and unsure of what kept doing this.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point, right? Is like, it's ridiculous because they're hunting a killer beaver, which is stupid. That's funny in its own, but yeah, I agree with you. They tell you that in the first 5 pages. It's like, well, let's warm us up to it. Like, I don't want them to know they're chasing a killer beaver. Why don't you build the suspense a little bit?
Right.
But it was funny, and I also enjoyed the humor. It was kind of like, I don't want to compare it exactly to South Park type humor, but it was, in a way, it was like things that they should have been taking very seriously. They were just like brushing aside. Right. Like, the one guy loses his family, and the other guy lost his money on infomercials, and they're trying to compare the hurt from those two things.
Right. Because the man that lost the family was the guy that
Yeah.
siphoned all the money from the park ranger. Like he turned out to be a snake.
Infomercial Dan.
Yeah, the snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
It's like, I bought your rocks. They're going to turn into diamonds. He's like, no, they're not going to work. No.
I lost my wife and daughter. Yeah, but I bought all these rocks from you. Like, how dare you?
2 payments of $19.99.
Yeah.
And I like the joke that they kept throwing back in was plus shipping and handling, right?
Yeah,
I saw that a couple of times.
That was a constant, yeah. But yeah, the part where you're over, they go to that pond where they're dumping the bodies, and he just happens to leave the wife's leg out. He's like, "Why didn't you tie a cinder block to it?"
It's like, I didn't think we were coming back here. And I was like, oh my gosh, like we've been dumping bodies, and they're just saying this so like matter of factly as the guys there still mourning his family.
Yeah, I love that kind of humor where it's just like, I don't know how to describe it, but like the situation should be way more serious, but they're just kind of like, let's keep it moving.
And it made me laugh even harder because when they finally go to the lair, I won't ruin the setup of it because it's really amazing on
cool
how the beaver's living. But you find the revelations of his daughter and his wife's heads, and like they freak out. He freaks out again. It was like, oh, this beaver's like going for blood, literally.
Yeah.
But I loved all that stuff.
It was like a whole showdown with dynamite and.
Yeah, and then the epilogue. I kind of don't want to ruin this because it's short enough that you can kind of breeze through it, but it's fun enough that if you don't enjoy it within the first kind of 3 pages in the infomercial, then you can pull out. But there's a lot of fun and love in this comic that self-published.
Do you remember that My Little Pony comic we read like
ages ago? I do.
Oh, ages ago for the Ark Analysis. It's almost like it's drawn similar to that, like the animation and the vibe. The animation and the feel is like that, but it's like, but instead of all the positive reinforcing, like spiritual background, it's just dark humor and death and people that don't take death seriously. It's I don't know. I was charmed by it. I had a good time. Like I said, it's very, very straightforward. I just saw this randomly and I was like, this looks like a cool title. Let's just read this. I had no idea about it going in. That's why, like, before this, I was trying to find the publisher. I was like, where is this? This isn't even a real thing. It's like, oh, okay. It's not even a real publisher. It's just like
it's a little Venture Brothers style for me.
Yes.
In terms of the art and the humor. It's a little more kind of played around with the faces because nothing's as symmetrical as Venture Brothers, but still that type of cartoonish, like, you're dropped into a world and you know this is originally this world, right? If you buckle up, you're in for a ride, and it was definitely a fun ride. Yeah,
that's a good way. It is that you said that, like you said at the top. It's very, if Adult Swim did a comic, this would kind of be.
Actually, I could see this being a cartoon. I don't know how you could keep it going, but I've seen worse cartoons going for longer, right?
That's also true. I was going to say the same thing, but
I did watch at least 2 years of Angry Beavers. So I mean,
I forgot about that show.
It's good.
Beavers, yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't use the whole beaver's gonna get you killed because.
What's
gonna get you killed?
From that beaver. So we write these on a good or bad basis. Boom being good, Bob being bad, and whoosh for what I just read. Dank, what do you say?
Shout outs for the last name being Steiner. Steiner rocks. So I'm giving this a boom because it's good and Steiner rocks.
Yeah, boom for me too. I had a great time with it too. I do have one more question though. If you die in the woods, does anybody care?
Yes, because animals are going to get fed. So
the animals care.
Do they count as antibody?
Oh, now we're getting deep.
Or do they count as antibody?
Anti-villains?
I've already dropped the mic after that.
Yeah.
I can't say anything better than that. Come on.
No, you can't. I ruined it. I should have let it go.
We can edit it. We won't, but we can edit it.
We won't.
We could. Just know this could have been a tighter episode, and we've chosen not to.
Normalize post. We're good.